So what we're going to start looking at in 8-9 is we're going to start solving equations that have a squared involved, but it's got to be outside of our parentheses. So when we have something like this on number 1, y minus 6 quantity squared, this is just telling you that you have two of the exact same factors. You have y minus 6 and y minus 6, but instead of writing it out twice, we just put a squared there. Kind of like, the lazy man way of writing it. Alright, so instead of sitting and writing this all out twice, here we go. Now, when we have a set of parentheses, just like back in lesson 8.5, the first day we started this, if you have parentheses, it's already factored. You don't have to factor if there's parentheses already involved. Okay? So on something like this, this is already factored. The difference today is if they've already got it factored, we're not worried if it's equal to 0 or not. If they've done the work, we're going with what they've got. Okay? So, does anybody know, our first step is when we get rid of that square. What's the opposite of squaring something?
Dividing.
Not dividing. Multiplication and division are opposites. Addition, subtraction. What's the opposite of squaring?
Square rooting.
Square rooting. Alright, so those of you who kept trying to interchange the two, you kept trying to say square when you meant square root, or you say square root when you meant squared, those are not the same thing. They are opposites. They undo each other. Okay? So when I'm looking at this problem right here, one of the first things we're going to want to do is get rid of this square. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to square root both sides. Okay? So go ahead and let's put that on our paper. We're going to square root both sides. That's our first step. Now, when we do that, that square and square root cancel each other out. Okay? It doesn't cancel anything inside here. It just takes care of that square on the outside. So we're going to have y minus 6 equals, now what's the square root of 81? It is 9, but there are two answers here. Well, 99 kind of.
9 squared.
No, not 9 squared. Alright, would you guys agree? When we're taking the square stuff, we're looking for something times something that has to be the same, right? To get us to 81. So you guys are saying 9 times 9 would get us 81. What about negative 9 times negative 9?
Or 99.
Would that get us to an 81?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what you're going to see is they're going to write plus or minus 9. So they're saying there's a positive 9s would work, and they're saying the negative 9 works. There are two parts to that. Okay, so technically, anytime we square root something, we should be putting the plus or minus. Okay? Alright, so if you're thinking about like difference of squares, 25x squared minus 36, alright? We were square rooting both parts, right? And we'd have 5x minus 6 and 5x plus 6. Does that make sense now? A little bit more? Okay. So, same thing up here. We've got a plus and a minus. So now we're going to get the y by itself. And how are we going to get the y by itself? Add the 6 over. So we got y equals 6 plus or minus 9. So I added the 6 over. Plus and minus will be in the middle. Okay? Alright, so now here's your two answers. You've got 6 plus 9, and you have 6 minus 9. So what is 6 plus 9?
17 or 15.
15. What is 6 minus 9?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. So your answers are 15 and negative 3. Okay? So when we square root, we get a plus or minus. Plus or minus. Okay? Alright, so let's take a look at the next problem, number 2. Alright, on number 2, we've got x plus 3 squared equals 26. Alright, what's our first step here going to be?
Square root both.
Okay, we're going to square root both sides, right? So we're going to square root here and here. So those cancel out, getting rid of our square. So we have x plus 3 equals. Right. Okay, now what's the square root of 26? This is where we're going to use our calculators. Okay, so those of you who have a yellow or a yellow type calculator, you'll put in the square root of 26, and it'll probably give you a radical answer, like a square root answer. You want to push right above enter. There's a double arrow that's highlighted white. You push that, and it'll give you a decimal of 5.09. Okay, you call us over if you need some help with your square root work. So we're going to round to the nearest tenth, so you should end up with 5.1 when we do that. All right, so let's walk around here. Let's make sure everybody's got your square roots taken care of. So we do a second. We don't care what it does to it. Okay? Now, anybody else?
Okay.
Okay. Everybody okay?
Oh.
Sorry, let's go clear.
Now we might want to change. Oh, you got yours, never mind.
Second.
Oh, that's what we're at.
Yeah, so we're rounding one decimal place, so 5.1. Anybody have a question on any of that?
So let's do it again.
No, okay, so
So we go
appreciation.
second function,
And
square
then
root,
oh, okay.
26. And then I
Okay, anybody
get
else?
double arrow,
Me?
and 35.
Okay,
Shut up, it was a rough one.
so now, what are we gonna do? We said I hit the X by itself. Good, subtract the 3 over, so I have -3 plus or minus 5.1, right? Okay, alright, so now, I've got -3 plus 5.1 and -3 minus 5.1. Okay, so what is -3 plus 5.1? Not 8.1,
2.1.
2.1. Okay, what's -3 and -5.1? 8.1, good, comma, and just put x equals. And those are your answers. Okay, so again, square, we're still getting 2 answers. 2 answers. Okay, I want you to try 3 and 4 on your own right now. 3 and 4 on your own. Let's see what you come up with.